Welcome to Funnel Hacker Radio Podcast, where we go behind the scenes and uncover the tactics and strategies top entrepreneurs are using to make more sales, dominate their markets, and how you can get those same results. Here's your host, Dave Woodward.
Welcome to Funnel Hacker Radio. You guys are going to be in for a massive treat today. We have the opportunity of hearing from a lady who has just been crushing it. I am so excited to introduce you guys to Carissa Hill. Carissa, welcome.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for having me.
I am so impressed by your story. It's just fascinating. I mean, again, basically age 21, you end up launching this training business for hair and lash extensions in the garage, basically in your garage of a rental property. And then by the age of 24, you got 3 stores, 9 staff, 2 of your own product. The best part is you built this all on Facebook. And this is one of the things that I think is so crazy is how people can actually use Facebook to build offline businesses. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But the other thing I'm super excited about, and that is we're going to spend some time later talking about launches inside of your Facebook group. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you told me in January, inside of a Facebook group, you basically did a $500,000 launch. Is that right?
I did, yeah. And I just did a $480,000 one last month.
So you guys have to wait to the end to hear that. But I want to dive right in real quick and talk a little bit about how you kind of got started with this whole Facebook thing with your salons.
Yeah. Well, it really started off with MySpace because when I started the business, Facebook didn't exist yet. It just wasn't a thing, and everyone was still using MySpace. And I actually had I printed out MySpace business cards and all sorts of stuff.
I love it.
But I really I did the exact same things on MySpace as I do on Facebook too. And I do the same things, doesn't matter what platform it is. So that's why I really got stuck into teaching this, because I think what I noticed over the years is that a lot of businesses, doesn't matter really if they're offline or they're online, but they're just not doing things right on social media, which is why it's not working. And I think most people are trying to be too strategic about it, whereas I've just really always been about making it super fun. And I think you'll notice most of the brands that get the most attention on social media and the things that go viral are things that are a bit weird or a bit silly. And so I try and help people to deconstruct take the professionalism out of their business in a way, if that makes sense, and try and just be a bit silly and get some personality going and use emojis and, make little videos or share a random cat video every now and then and stuff like that may not even apply to their business at all, but that's what people want to see. So I really try and help people to come up with a theme. And that's what I did. I've always just had fun with it. My business name, when I had the salons, I've sold them now, but it was called Hot Stuff Beauty. And it was all just about helping girls to look and feel hot. So it was, we'd post up pictures of sexy bikini models, or our clients would post, take lots of selfies of themselves, because it was all that kind of industry. There was fake hair and fake lashes and whatever. So we'd make sure to also follow them on MySpace at the time, and then onto Facebook, and then started following them on Instagram, and they'd tag us in their selfies, and then we give them shout outs. And so I really have always tried to use my clients in my marketing as well. That's been one of the biggest things that's helped kind of incorporate the people into the brand, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I think that's fantastic. So let's talk a little bit about how do you get your clients to be able to participate in your marketing like that? Because I know it's always a hard thing for people to actually do. So what are some of the tips and tricks you've used to get your clients to want to share that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I literally just ask. I would say when I had the salons, as an example, after I'd finished doing someone's spray tan, or I trained my girls to do this as well, they'd be like, "Oh, what's your Instagram? Let's follow you. Make sure you tag us if you take any selfies." Basically that's it. Or we'd also put that in an automated email that went out after new clients, "Hey, are you following us on Instagram? What's yours? We'll follow you, and make sure to tag us in any hot selfies." So we'd just do it that way. And then when we did get tagged and stuff, we'd just be like, "Oh, hey, babe, that's awesome. Can we share that on our page?" And then they'd basically always say yes, because they wanted a shout out. And same thing now, even like I've got online courses that I teach and people get results from Facebook ads and they just post in the group and say, Carissa, look, I just made this much money off a boosted post. And I'll be like, awesome. Can I screenshot that and share it? So that's as simple as it has to be.
You know what? I think it's the part I appreciate you mentioning that because, Carissa, one of the things we see for a lot of people is they try to make this thing just too tough and too hard in their
Yeah,
business.
all the
And
time.
we have so much fun at ClickFunnels. Nothing like with our affiliate program, nothing excites me more than when all of a sudden someone makes their first sale inside of ClickFunnels. And I'm like, man, I please post those. I want to see those. There's nothing. Yeah, it's always great seeing these massive, 5, 6 figure types of commissions, but nothing to
Yeah.
me is more exciting when I see the very first one. I made
Yeah.
$18.80. I mean, that excites me. I just love seeing
It's
that
like they
because,
see what's possible. It's so, yeah, it's
ah,
cool. Hey. Yeah.
totally agree. I love that. Well, let's dive right in. I am so fascinated by what you're doing inside of your own personal Facebook group to start doing 6 figure launches inside of a Facebook group. So, if you don't mind, let's kind of just dive right into that topic.
Yeah, cool. I know everyone's excited about it. And I've told you before, it was totally accidental the first time. And then after I realized it works, I was obviously like, oh, well, let's try that again.
So, how did this accidentally happen?
Yeah, well, I mean, once again, I started my Facebook group for fun. I didn't start it as a strategic marketing technique. And I think that's where a lot of people are using their groups now, trying to do them to grow their audience, but they're doing it really strategically. So I started it for fun. It was originally called Carissa's Uncomfortable Coaching Couch because it was when I just started off as a business coach and I wanted to help people to get out of their comfort zone. So that was kind of like a theme around it. And then I always felt that was just a little bit boring and it kind of wasn't getting the engagement that I liked or that I wanted. And so I changed it. I've got a video series as well called Coffee with Carissa where I just sit down and have coffee and talk about business. And then I was like, well, why don't we make the group that as well? And, make it almost like a virtual coffee shop. Like that's the idea that I wanted for it. I wanted it to be a place that people wanted to come and hang out and ask for advice and meet people and stuff like that. So I put it to the group and everybody liked it. And then as soon as I changed the name, it exploded because it just seems cooler, I guess. I have a little, a description to the group that says, imagine you're walking into a coffee shop and it's full of all these people and da-da-da-da-da. And then I basically just used it for just content marketing, like all the time. I love creating content. I love sharing my thoughts and my ideas and my client success stories and everything. So I didn't actually try to sell anything in the group for probably a year at all. Like it was just content. And I did have my online course still that I was selling, but at the time originally I was still doing like getting leads and making phone calls to sell it because it was a $1,500 product. And then I was just like, I actually got pregnant and I was like, well, I'm not going to be able to make phone calls when I have a baby. So I'm going to do a live video in the group. And I use this software called OBS. Have you heard of that?
Of course.
Where
Yeah.
you can, yes, some people have and some people haven't. So you can do your screen share with that, like a webinar style thing. And I've actually never even done a webinar before. But I did one in the group, a free presentation on Facebook marketing. So I basically used a webinar style thing in the group, teaching people how to boost posts and how to use different interests and like how to design a nice cover photo and use a pinned post at the top of their page to generate leads and like a few little tricks like that I've always used. And then right at the end,
you're gonna have to back up because I know a lot of people are gonna go, wait, pin post,
Yeah.
and so explain those strategies real fast.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is one of the things that I teach to any business. Doesn't matter if it's offline or online. It's something that I've always done, and other people I think just don't see it as a thing. But when people come to your Facebook page, right, they're going to look at first of all your cover photo, then your profile, then they're going to scroll down and have a little bit of a stalk of your page. So if you're running ads, my theory is that your page should be set up to generate leads. If you're going to people are going to come and have a look and stalk you. So you know how you can pin a post, so you click on something and it makes it just permanently stay at the top of the page?
Yep.
Yeah. So I always will have either a really good offer or maybe like a testimonial of a client or like a new client voucher or something maybe. Like that's something that that works for a lot of hair and beauty salon owners, which is a lot of my clients are. So something that's like an irresistible offer or showing off results that you've gotten for someone should be pinned to the top of your page with also a link to your either opt-in or landing page or website, or even just to say comment below and we'll message you the details. because that way, anytime someone comes to your page, you're just getting leads, like whether they click on your ad or not. Like sometimes they won't click through the ad, but they'll come and stalk you, and then you'll. So, yeah. So little simple strategies like that I've always used that don't actually cost that much money and are kind of creative. They work really well. So I did a whole webinar style presentation on how to do all of those things, and simple things like, boosting a post. If you're promoting eyelash extensions, which is something that I did in my business, I would use interests eyelash extensions, and like some people just don't get that. So I teach a lot of the basic Facebook marketing stuff. Anyway, I did this webinar and then it went for about 40 minutes. And at the end, I was like, also, I've got this online course. It goes for 12 weeks. It's $1,500, or you can do it at $125 a week over 12 weeks. And then I'm going to be raising the price after like June or July or whatever month it was that I did it. And literally I did $105,000 in sales in a 48-hour period in that first launch. And that was kind of like, what? That just happened in my Facebook group, and I didn't even like run any ads for it, or like I just created an event in the group basically, and heaps of people showed up. And then I also did email out the replay to everybody. And yeah, so that was the first time I did it. And then I did another little launch for cheaper products in November in the exact same way, and I did 44,000. And then in January this year, 2017, I did the same thing again, but the program, it's the same course, but I'd added a lot to it and I raised the price, so it's a $6,500 program now, and I still had advertised it with a payment plan because people sign up to that as paying in full, but did the same thing and did $570,000 in January. I was like, what?
That's great. So you got a $6,500 program that you're selling through a Facebook video.
Yeah.
That is,
yeah.
Again, you basically almost got 1,000 people, which is 10% of your group. You got about 10,000 members in this group I'm seeing. So you got almost a 10% conversion on a Facebook Live video that's actually pre-recorded, ran through OBS to generate sales. Is that correct?
Oh, I did it live. I didn't do it pre-recorded.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you did it live?
Yeah.
And then
because that way I interact and answer questions and stuff with everybody.
Fantastic. So tell me, one of the things that we always get are questions regarding payment plans and how long are your payment plans, what payment plans work, what kind of convert do you have, what kind of fall off do you have at the end? So I heard you say earlier, basically you did a 12-week, weekly payment plan.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about how your payment plans work.
Yeah, I still offer them, so I drip feed the content, so I don't give everybody things right at once. If they sign up for a payment plan, they only get one video a week or a month, depending on how they're paying, which ideally keeps them in there. I don't have a very high drop-off rate. I think it's about, in industry standard, I'm not sure what it is, maybe 30% or something that I heard. I don't know. Mine's around 20 or just under. So I do have some people that drop off, but that's generally okay because they're not the right people and they don't do the work. So I don't mind. But I do really focus on, I've got a Facebook group for my course, and inside it, it's super active, and I really focus on building a sense of community and giving a lot of value to my paying clients as well so that they want to stay. And I find that really helps people to join, and also it helps that when anybody new inquires about the program inside my free Facebook group, all my current clients jump in there and just be like, it's amazing, you have to join. So I'm almost, created my own little sales team of clients.
But yeah, let me just back up then. So you've got Coffee with Carissa. So if you went to Facebook and go to Coffee with Carissa, that's your private mastermind group where you basically have to request to join. So you now join that, and you got about 10,000. I'm looking here right now today. It has 10,593 members. And then from that's the group that you're basically providing a whole bunch of content to. And then you send out on a somewhat recent basis, at least monthly, an offer. And then that gets them into another private Facebook group. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. So I've got actually 3 courses at the moment. So I've got 3 private or secret Facebook groups for the 3 courses.
Yeah. So they stay in your current private one, but then they also have access to whichever one they sign up for.
Yes, that's right. and it's more intimate in there, and they get to work with me one-on-one. And I think because I've focused so much on building myself into a personal brand, that's what helps a lot as well. So I'm not just focusing on selling a product. I'm selling like my story, and people want the results that I've gotten. So yeah.
Oh, I think that's fantastic. And all this is done without driving ads, right?
Well, I do have ads running. However, it's only one of them, and I only am promoting my free ebook, which people download, and then there's a link to the free group, the Coffee with Carissa group, inside the ebook. So that's how people find the group. But I get them on my email list first, obviously, because I think that's more important. And
now, I just want to stop there because I get that question all the time. They're like, is email kind of dying, or should I just worry about getting a large, I can get mini chat going and I can get all these other things. Do I really need to capture their email? So what you're telling me is, yes, you do.
Well, I just think so, because you don't own Facebook. Like, I've had my page deleted before and I lost everything. Whereas if I had like everyone backed up with their email address or phone number or whatever, then I would have been able to contact at least a percentage of them, like whoever opens their emails, or run Facebook ads to my email list and let them know about another group or another page or something.
Love that. Thank you so much for reinforcing that. I get that question all the time. It's like, I think email, I don't really need my email that much. It's so hard to get an email. I'm like,
you don't own Facebook.
You don't own Facebook. Zuckerberg can kill your business anytime he decides to do it. So,
basically.
So then you've got these, you basically have, so they opt in through basically an ebook. They then find your private page. They become a part of the page. They get a ton of content in there. And then on a somewhat frequent basis, you're providing offers either through a pinned post or through email or other directions to then put them into one of your other 3 high-end coaching programs. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
That's just crazy. Again, your conversions is what's amazing. I'm so impressed with the fact here you got, a 10% of your group basically is paying you at this point over $1 million in the last couple months. So congratulations. That's pretty impressive. It's been
that way from the start. It's roughly a 10% conversion, even when I had the group at like 100 people. So I'm feeling really confident that the more I scale that, if I keep doing the same thing, it's just going to keep growing. So yeah.
So how do you build that kind of community? Because I've seen a ton of Facebook groups just kind of die by the wayside because they're just not that involved. So how do you, again, we always look at it from, and again, you'll hear us talk with ClickFunnels as far as it's all about building a CULT-ure type of opportunity. In fact, I'm wearing our Thursday happens to be, it's a cult way of life t-shirts here at ClickFunnels headquarters. So I'm wearing that shirt as we're talking about building this kind of a CULT-ure. And I wanted to find out, what are you doing to build that within your group?
Yeah, I do heaps of live videos. I've always loved video. And I love live videos because you can actually interact with people. So I make sure I'm actually creating a course on Facebook groups right now. I'm calling it Squad Goals. Like growing your squad. Squad Goals.
I love it.
I just make sure to be really interactive, and I make everything in the group more about the members than myself. I think that's one of the main things. Like, I've done a lot of study on human behavior and human psychology, and I'm very much aware that, humans are generally more focused on themselves than they are on anyone else. And people love talking about themselves and sharing things about themselves. And so I don't really try and make it too much about me. I make it more so about them. And I'm always giving a lot of value. Like, and I'm very actually like genuinely curious, and I genuinely want to help. So I'm not doing it just from a place of trying to make money. And I think that makes a big difference. One of my little secrets is that every time I sell something, if I'm going to do a live video and make an offer, I actually have a little Post-it note right next to my computer that says just trying to help. And I remember that I focus on that more so than actually trying to sell something in the pitch. So I'm always like, if you're interested in this, this is the opportunity to get it. I'm not like, get in now, guys, or miss out kind of thing. So I just keep it. And one of my slogans in my own business is be real, have fun, make money, love life. So I'm really just super real, super authentic. I don't try and script anything or be perfect or whatever. And even when I do live videos in there, like I might ask people, hey, what are you struggling with right now? And then people will start typing up all these things, and then I'll go live and I'll just answer them for free and give them free advice like I would charge for. So I'm just giving a whole lot of really valuable content, I suppose, and that makes people want to work with me more.
Oh, no,
So,
Chris, I think that's
yeah.
fantastic. I think a lot of times, let's talk a little bit about this whole because you're doing these Facebook Live. How long do they last? Do they come on at a regular time? What's kind of give me the content. How does it work?
Yeah, when I'm doing a live video.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, sometimes I'll just do them randomly. Like if I feel inspired, I'll just do a live video, and like some people will jump on and watch. And then I know a lot of people do watch the replay. However, if I am going to be doing like a strategic, like a webinar style one, or a new offer, or like a book launch or something like that, that's examples of ones that I've done in there before, I will actually create an event inside the group for that thing. And then people will click attending, so they get a notification when the event's about to start. And I also do email out my list letting them know that I'm going to be doing that, so kind of like you would in a webinar, I guess. But there's always, even when I did the really massive launches, there's never been more than I think 60 people at a time watching.
Wow.
But a lot of people watch the replay. So yeah,
So
I think the biggest one I ever had was maybe 80 people live.
That's fantastic. So is there anything that you're doing specifically to help make sure they watch the replay or to get them back to the replay? Are you training them in any way to make that happen?
I don't think so. I think I'm just, because all I do is just email out that I did it and a link to it after I do it.
That's great.
Kind of, yeah. But I think they just see it in the group mostly, because there's always people still commenting, like, you know, when people think you're still live when you're not, and it's funny. Commenting, like interacting with you in the video. I get a lot of that afterwards.
I love that.
Yeah.
So what's your follow-up sequence? So
I just add a lot of content. Like when I'm selling something, like I give heaps of value. So, and I tell them that there's a special offer coming, but they have to wait right till the end.
That's fantastic. So how long are most of your Facebook Lives like that?
If I'm selling something, usually about an hour.
Okay.
If they're like just a free content one, maybe 20, 30 minutes.
Oh, great. Fantastic. So on your follow-up sequence, so you do the Facebook Live, you then email them out. How many times do you email them out? Is there scarcity and urgency set up and created with this?
Yeah, a little bit. I could do that better, to be honest. But I'm still, as I said, I kind of did it all accidentally, and I'm learning on how to perfect it as I go. But the first ever one that I did, I only sent one email out afterwards, and it was like, hey, I did a live video. Here you go. And then I think the one in January, I actually sent 2 or 3 emails afterwards, because I was like, oh yeah, I should get in and be like, hey guys, look, there's only 2 hours left to get this, and that kind of thing. So I'm getting a little bit better at that, and actually doing like it as a planned thing. But I think it did work better when not better, but it worked because I was really casual about it as well, because that's kind of my whole brand. So I feel if I try and get too strategic or too salesy with it, then it might put people off a little bit. I don't know if that's true or not, if it's just a fear that I have, but I try and just be really, casual about it. Yeah.
No, I think the key obviously is it's got to be authentic to you, and obviously so how long is that offer usually open? So you do the Facebook Live on, let's say you do it on a Thursday. How long is that going to be open for?
I've found 48 hours works the best, because it gives enough people time to watch the replay, and it is a limited time, so they're going to actually take action. Whereas if I did one once that was a week, and it was kind of just like, if they forgot by the time the week was over, like I sent a couple of emails out and stuff and the replay again, but it gave time for people to cool down. They weren't as excited about it. So 48 hours is what's worked best for me.
Oh my gosh, Chris, that is so funny. We've been testing a ton of things over here at ClickFunnels recently, especially along our webinars. And it's so funny because, we'll do a webinar on Thursday, and then we'll spend time we'll get obviously a ton of sales on the first day, and then we usually close them down on Sunday. So it's open basically for almost 4 days. And what we've seen is literally we get almost as many sales on the last day as we get on the first day, and then the 2 days in between, it just kind of drops down. So you see almost this big M spike. So you get this big spike up, and then it drops down, and it just kind of hangs out there for a couple of days. Then you get the closing, and it spikes right back up. We launched our 2 Common Club coaching in May, And I ended up taking a screenshot of it because it was literally almost to the $1,000, exactly the same on the first day as well as on the last day. And I was like, so since then, we've actually are changing all of our funnels to 48-hour 48-hour funnels because of that. So I loved seeing that.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Well, Chris, I totally appreciate the content that you're giving right now. I know we're kind of getting close to wrapping things up here. Is there anything else you want to make sure that our audience knows, or any other tips or strategies you want to make sure you convey?
Oh, I think if I was just to share, like, I honestly think that Facebook groups are just such a great way to grow your business at the moment. I know there's mixed, like, some people think the opposite, but I think if you're someone who genuinely likes people and really actually wants to help your clients, then you can do it in such a nice way, bringing people together. And you can also do all your market research in there. Like, so if anyone doesn't have a group yet, I would just say go and start one and start asking questions more than posting about yourself and giving content. Like, there needs to be a little bit of a mix in there. But some of my favorite questions are things like, if you had a magic wand and you could change one thing in your life or business, like, what would it be? And then you really get to understand, like, what people really want. So if you're someone who likes to listen to people's actual needs and create products and services based around that, then I just think it's awesome, because that's how I find out what people want the most.
I love that. Well, Carissa, thank you so much. If people wanted to connect with you, what's the best place? Where should we send them?
Yeah, well, my group, obviously, Coffee with Carissa, Carissa, or my website, carissahill.com.au, that has all the links to, like, my ebooks and courses and all of that stuff on there.
Well, Carissa, again, thank you so much for your time. I've just enjoyed getting to know you a little bit better, and thanks so much for everything you've done to contribute to our audience.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was fun.
Thanks for listening to Funnel Hacker Radio Podcast. If you'd like to be notified anytime we release a new episode, just subscribe over at funnelhackerradio.com. In addition to that, we'd love to send you a free gift. You can find that free gift at funnelhackerradio.com/free trial. One last thing is, we love giving away cars. So if you'd like access to a free dream car, all you have to do is go to funnelhackerradio.com/dream car, and you'll get all the details. Thanks again for listening.